Tuesday morning ad clinic, the TMAC as we like to call it. This is, I think, something like the 119th edition of the Tuesday morning ad clinic. So we've done this a few times. We've got 2 submittors today and 3 submissions. We've got Rich Sirocco, whose ad is on the screen right now. And we've also got Tom Schaff, who has submitted 2 things, I believe. And Tom, we're going to talk to you second, simply because Rich Sirocco has another commitment and has to leave a little bit early. So we'll go to Rich first, and I will unmute you now. Here you go, Rich. You there?
Hi, Rich. Good morning.
Good morning, Rich. Long time no talk, relatively speaking. What's been going on? I haven't heard from you very much lately.
Been busy. You know, we spent a month in Europe in June. That's big news.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Is that a good time of year to be in Europe? I don't know much about Europe.
It's a very good time of the year to be in Europe. It's fewer tourists and less heat and humidity and all that sort of stuff. But the long lines are not there, so that's the big reason.
The big line to get into Rome and stuff like that?
Yeah, to get into the Vatican, I mean, it's like a half a mile long.
Jeez. Well, you can go up to Salt Lake and get into the Temple Square and see the Mormons, and there's no wait, so you might want to try that. Just kidding.
Actually, I've done that already and did the temple in Washington when it was built.
That's been a while.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's take a look at what you've got submitted. This is an ad. Please tell me this is an ad mock-up, not the actual ad.
Right. This is a submission from one of the members, and we're going to probably discuss it today, and I thought I'd like to get your side of the story, you know?
Yeah, I'll put it so you can see a little bit more of it on the screen. So for those of you on the call that are not familiar with what's going on, Rich Sirocco is one of our consultants, MYM consultants, has been with us, maybe getting up on 10 years now?
Yeah, 11.
11, okay. Well, that's getting up there on 10. And so he meets with a group of other consultants, and they put things together on behalf of themselves, in this case, on behalf of their clients. And we'll review those from time to time. To me, this is one of those ads that really kind of takes the long and winding route that has a lot of potential to lose people at any given twist and turn. So think of this like a winding road coming down a mountain, and imagine maybe instead of cars, like a big pack of bicyclers coming down it. And so let's say there's 100 at the top of the hill, and they're coming down in this big swarm, and every time the road curves, 3 or 4 of them go flying off the cliff to their death. And after about 8 or 10 of these turns, you know, from 100, now we've only got, you know, something like 12 left who made it all the way to the bottom without flying off the cliff. And I feel like this is kind of that scenario where we're going to have guys flying off the cliff, and in our terms, that means they give up and quit reading and quit trying to figure out what's going on, because it really is taking a backwards route to get to the point. 3 surefire ways to get less printing business from your existing customers, and the 3 key reasons why they do. So grammatically speaking, that doesn't even make sense. And the 3 key reasons why they do, why they personal pronoun they is who, existing customers do what, give you less printing. You know, it doesn't match up. But then where I got confused on this, that's a minor issue. A major issue is I kind of skipped down to these green headers, right? Hire a salesperson to make door-to-door cold calls. You must find the right person. You finally find the right person, and they quit and steal your clients. You spend money, time, training. Okay, hire a boiler room, cut your prices. There's a better way. And I get really confused because those don't sound like ways that I would ever attempt to follow up with my current customers. Those sound like ways I would go out and try to find new customers, maybe. So I'm reading this going, what? What? I don't even understand it. What are you talking about? Hire a salesperson to make door-to-door cold calls. Hire a boiler room and bombard them with your phone calls. Cut your prices. Here's a better way. Simply team up with Joe Fabitz. Now, that in and of itself is a little bit disconcerting because you've got it in quotation marks. And that indicates to me, the reader, that that means something unique and different and special that I need to pay attention to. But this word, Joe Fabitz, I don't recognize it as being anything. So I'm looking at it going, what? Team up with Joe Fabitz at MLAM Marketing, which I probably don't know what that is, and let him do it all for free. Here's how it works. Joe contacts your clients. Joe offers them marketing expertise. Joe signs an ironclad agreement to direct their printing needs to you. Cost for Joe's service is nothing. And I find this entire piece to be very confusing. I'm not sure what it is you want me to do. I'm not sure how this is going to help me. I'm not sure who Joe Fabitz is or what he's going to do. And so I get a little frustrated. And like I said, by the time we get down these 8 or 10 curves, my 100-person bike pack is down to 12, and the others have fallen to their death.
So Rich, let me clarify a couple of things. First of all, I'm the one that put the Joe Fabitz in. The person that wrote it actually put a proper name in, and the reason it was written is that we noticed that printers got more business if their clients were our clients. So we were trying to communicate that idea. Now, the guy that submitted it, I actually have the same opinion you have. I was totally lost by it, and other members responded to the email that sent this out with, "Man, you're a genius," and I was totally baffled by that, which is the main reason why I sent it to you. I thought I was crazy because other people thought he was a genius, and I just missed it entirely. So
well, I really like my analogy because I think it's true, because it's not any one specific thing on here. Any one of these things that is confusing could probably be forgiven, and like the analogy, might lose 4 or 5 bike riders, but probably you'd still have 95 left. But as this thing keeps going, it just careens out of control, starts hitting guardrails and mountains, and there's just packs of guys flying over their handlebars. It's crazy. I would rather take a more direct approach. Okay, so if we took a direct approach, here's what I like to do on this call. Answer this question: what do you want somebody to know, and what do you want them to do? And I'll take a stab at it. Okay. I want them to know that we would like to make a value-added service available to your customers to help them with their marketing. And if you do that, it's going to be a benefit to your customers because they're going to get marketing. It's going to be a benefit to you because it's going to generate potentially more printing. And what I want you to do is I want you to contact me to discuss getting ostensibly in touch with your customers. In fact, I think probably a good next step would be, hey, here's an email that you can send out to your customers that explains it, which I would probably have already ready so that they can understand precisely what's going to happen, precisely what you're going to say to their customers. Because, at the end of the day, this is their customer base. And I'm going to assume that this is a cold presentation to these printers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so basically you're saying, hey, my name is Joe Fabitz, or whoever the heck I am, from a company that you don't know, wanting you to fork your customers over to me to solve a problem that you may not really perceive that you have with a methodology that you can't understand. And, hey, Chad, if you're on this call, mark that because that was awesome. Anyway, let's get more direct. Let's get a little bit more direct, okay?
Sure.
So you want to reach out to their customers and offer them marketing advice. True enough?
Yeah, and by the way, normally these printers know us. These are printers that are sending us emails like newsletters and things like that. So they're in touch with us.
You know what I might recommend? And by the way, this is going to be a good topic. I'm going to cover a topic on Thursday's strategic marketing call. We're going to get into joint ventures, and I'm going to cover a topic called content provider. And I'm going to preview you on it right now because this is a great place to use that. And in fact, as I continue to work on that presentation for Thursday, I may actually use this as an example because I think it's so fitting. You know what? Here's what you don't want to do. And I've used this stupid analogy before, but here's kind of what this is. This is kind of like walking into a bar and seeing a chick and walking up to her, and your pickup line is, "Hey, you want to go back to my apartment?" That's just never going to be a good pickup line, right? It's getting to your point way too fast. There's got to be a little bit more dating involved, so to speak, or at least small talk. And I know you might counter that by saying, "Oh, well, that's what all this, 3 reasons, 3 things that don't work is kind of trying to attract." But what I'm suggesting is even getting to the point where you're saying, "Hey, hand me your customer list," is probably too much for a cold introduction like this. Yeah, and they're printers that know you or that have sent stuff to you, but they don't know who you are and they're not thinking about you. So I would recommend this. Instead of saying, "Hey, why don't you fork your customers over to me to be a consultant?" What if you went to the printers and said, "Hey, how would you like to, as a value add, to be able to send good marketing information to your clients on a consistent basis, like exhibit A, B, C, D, and E?" Whether that be some kind of an audio webinar that you put on, or that's some articles or quick tips that you put out that they can then send to their clients, and help them understand the benefit of putting marketing in their clients' hands before you start saying, "Hey, fork over your client list so I can contact these guys." Let's walk a little bit before we break into a full sprint. We're in the Olympics right now, so you're kind of Usain Bolting it, and I'm suggesting maybe you take more of a marathon approach. Let's back off the speed a little bit, even though the marathoners in the Olympics actually go really fast. But nevertheless, the analogy still holds. Let's back off and let's go to these guys and say, "Hey, I'd like to offer you marketing expertise that you can give to your clients." And it's in the format of weekly quick tips that I can provide to you, and weekly articles that I can give to you, and conference calls or webinars that we hold on a periodic basis, and seminars if it's a local area based kind of a thing. If it's not, then maybe it would just need to be strictly webinars. But those are some things that people can kind of sink their teeth into. Hey, we've got some CD programs or some books that we'd like to make available to some of your clients that can help them with their marketing. This is a way for you, Mr. Printer, to not just be another printer competing on price, but be somebody that's really giving true value to your clients, and you can look like a hero, somebody that's genuinely interested in the success of their business, not just sitting there with your hand out hoping for more print work. "Oh, well, yeah, I'd like that."
Makes sense.
So that's kind of my take on that.
Okay, so you're suggesting that we put together 5 pieces or so before we approach them and show them the pieces as part of the pitch, as it were.
Well, my experience says that selling people something conceptually is very hard. If you say, "Hey, we're going to have some quick tips," well, what does that mean? In their mind, they don't have any idea what that is. In your mind, it might be, something like, put this on the screen, come down here, we've got some quick tips, micro branding, here's some quick tips. Okay? So you might look at that and go, "Well, there's quick tips. What's the big deal?" Well, in their mind, they don't know what a quick tip is. So I'd walk in there and show it to them. And they might not be able to visualize what a CD download offer is, or a hard copy CD without showing it to them. But here's the problem with this concept that I'm promoting. It takes more time and effort. But here's what it does also. It builds actual relationships that have a foundation. So there you go.
Wonderful.
Any other questions? I mean, I'm not going to necessarily sit here and rewrite the letter, but you get the idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is this stuff that's going to be done on a local basis?
Well, you know what? It's not really, I mean, it was just a topic for discussion. It was actually just, hey, you know, what if we do this? What if we kicked around a lot of things like a printer binder and stuff. I mean, that all kind of came up in the discussion, and somebody put this together and sent it out. Said, here's an idea, and you know, I saw it. I had kind of the same impression. I just didn't get it, and another person said, "Oh, you're brilliant," you know. So I thought, well, if somebody thinks he's brilliant and I'm confused, it makes sense to get more people's opinion, and you're one of those people.
Yeah, okay. Well, if it was on a local level, I would even suggest having a seminar. And then it becomes real easy for your printer to go to them and say, hey, we've got a seminar on September 3rd or whatever date it is. It's 4 hours long, and we're going to cover these topics. Here's a flyer for it. And we'd like you to send this out to your customer base. In fact, if you want, you can show up at that seminar and you can have a booth or a presence there, and I'll give you, you know, 3 minutes to talk about your printing. And in fact,
help you write the marketing for it.
And if you want, you can do that. And if you agree to do that and actually participate, I'll tell you what, I'll let you do that, and I'll guarantee that I won't have any other printer there. We're also going to do the same thing with the cell phone provider and the computer guy and the payroll guy and the bank and all this, and we're going to put together a little seminar, and there's going to be 5 or 6 people like you, but I'll guarantee that you'll be the only printer. And by the way, if you don't want to do that, that's okay, but I'll just get a different printer who will then have his ability, he'll have an ability to have that audience and you won't, but you know, whatever, it's up to you.
Great. Let me ask you a question about that. In the past, I had an idea that giving them something of value that they could give out, and we actually had tickets, a la the old MYM 99 or 199 tickets printed, so that they could give those tickets to their clients. What's your take on that?
Well, they're probably not going to do it because, I mean, realistically, how much face-to-face interaction do they have with those clients? Probably not that much. So I think to just make it electronic, put together some kind of a form that people can use to sign up. I mean, take a look at what we do over here. Go to our website. If you go to our seminar page, and you go here to register, it's just a quick form. We use a tool called FormStack that creates this, and they fill in their information, and then it asks them, you know, we put so there's a value on here like you were talking about, but see, it's all done electronically. We don't actually need a ticket. They come on here, and if they type individual or group, it'll say, well, who are the people? And then when you select payment, if you put sponsor code, it pops up a box that says, well, what's the sponsor code? Because you need a code. And if you choose credit card, then it pops up a secure form that allows them to input their credit card. So people can look at this and go, oh, well, geez, if I don't have a sponsor code, then I got to pay with a credit card. So it builds that value without having to fool with tickets.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Excellent.
So, you know, just some ideas there for you. I mean, seminars are a massive pain in the butt. There's no way around that. But there's also nothing better than being in front of a group of prospects for 4 hours.
True.
So it may be worth it. So, you know, take that as maybe a bigger kind of a thing than just going to printers. Maybe you could say, let's put on some seminars. And, you know, if it's geographically difficult to do that, you can do it with webinars.
That's true.
So anyway, there you go.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Rich. I will put you back on mute, and we will go to, let's see, I think Tom. Yeah, Tom. Let me unmute you, Tom. All right, you should be there, Tom.
Hey, Rich.
What's going on, man?
Hey, I need your help.
Well, good. I'm here to give it. I've got a couple different things from you. I see previous Elevon ad is a series of 10 or so ads. What should I pull up here? I've got a PDF and I've got a JPEG.
There's a picture of a lady.
Right here?
I don't know if there's a way to flip her around.
There is?
So this is working with a credit card processor, and this is inside a Costco mailing to 6 million people, their catalog.
Yep.
Over the last 10 months, what they've had is various different people meet Sal, meet Jesus. You know, they're black guys, Indians, white guys, women, young, old. So they use the different ethnic groups or, you know, different demographics, and they basically each time say, this person saved between $1,200 and $1,400. Take credit for less, call in and find out how much we can save you. So that's kind of what they've been doing historically. Their ad rates, their response rates to it have fallen dramatically over the last year. And so their leads
what's your involvement with this?
I'm the advisor, so I'm fixing it.
You're the advisor to Costco or to Elevon?
Costco hired me to work with Elevon.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So
that's kind of where they've been. And so my first round out, I'm working on an ad, and what I did is I interviewed them to say, well, you know, let's not get into platitudes because, you know, right here they use a story, and there's a nice lady in this picture, there's a nice man in another picture, but there's not really anything in there. And we're not getting a response, so I figured let's go in and go deep and find out why someone should buy from Elevon, or, you know, Elevon it's Costco Merchant Processing delivered by Elevon. So it's kind of an OEM thing. Costco uses their Halo, and then you call a Costco number, and then you get this other company is how it works.
Okay.
And so what I did is I created this second ad.
Which is the PDF?
Yes. And before one of the challenges are, you know, we're putting it in now, and it goes through a whole process for placement in October. And then we really don't see what happens until the end of October. So I thought, you know what? I have access to the service. Why don't I send it over to the man? And so there's actually 2 pages. If you go to the second page of this thing, it's the same as the first, except for there's the terminal on the bottom, which helps you understand what it is. Same thing, just a little different icon. So I thought I'd get your feedback before I throw it up the curve.
Okay, let me ask you this. If I was to go and respond to this ad, what would happen? I call this number, and what happens?
You'd get somebody on the phone, and then they would say, hey, what's going on in your business that you even considered calling us today? And someone would say, well, I got some problems, or I'm checking prices, or, you know, they'd say something, and they would go into a consultative sales call, and the person would ask questions about, you know, what they're doing right now to basically
go into your basic sales discovery type scenario, right?
There'd be a discovery call, right, to show them how much they would actually save.
Okay, now I'm trying to gather that it's permissible for this company, Elevon, to present themselves as if they were either were Costco or were closely affiliated with Costco, or there was some super close tie to Costco. Is that true?
That is correct.
Okay, so we don't have to. We can straddle this line of, hey, we are Costco pretty closely. Is that right?
We can go as closely as I did it here. Like,
okay,
at the end of the day, Costco made me say Costco and Elevon. They made me on the top put Costco Elavon Merchant. Originally it just said Costco Merchant, and then they made me put that back in.
Does Costco use Elavon?
What does that mean?
Well, I don't know what Elavon is. I'm assuming it's a third-party credit card
Elavon, U.S. Bank owns a processor. It's called Elavon. They're the top 4 processors in the world. And so Elavon is the company that, processes all the charges that are at a small retail store.
Does Costco use Elavon?
At their stores,
Yeah.
They don't take any credit card except for American Express.
And is that an Elavon thing or no?
No, it's American Express. You know what? That's a great question. I don't know.
Okay.
And the reason, what they do is typically is you can use your debit card, you can use cash, you can use a check, or you can use a Costco American Express.
Right. Well, you can actually use any American Express there.
Yeah. Okay. You can use it. Maybe that's the case, but it's because they sell you almost everyone that goes to Costco has a Costco American Express because of the favorable terms you get.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking is I don't necessarily dislike this ad, but I think there's maybe some other approaches that might make it more clear what's going on.
That's why I called you, my bro.
Merchant credit card processing. It might be interesting. I mean, it's the same question I asked the guy earlier. I always like to ask this question for any ad. What is it you want me to know? What is it you want me to do? So the first thing is, what do you want me to know? And I will interject that I think what you want them to know is that if you are a credit card accepting company, that you can get a better deal by using this Costco recommended / partnered thing called Elavon to save you money. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the original ad, Meet Velvet, and I know that you weren't super thrilled with this, but let's just use it as a starting point. First of all, the thing I hate about this ad the most is her name Velvet, because it totally throws the entire ad off track right up front, because you have to try to figure out what Velvet is, and then you have to realize, oh, it's somebody's name.
Yeah, and then it's Meet Sam and Meet Jose and like that.
Yeah. Velvet will save more than $1,200 this year. Take credit for less. Okay. Here's what I want to know. How is it? Just answer this question in plain English for me. I'm going to try to go back to that other ad that you gave me. How is it that you can save money with Elavon? What is it that Elavon does that allows you to save money? Why? What is the mechanics behind Elavon that makes it more favorable for you?
It's those 15 things.
Okay, well,
the first six things are that, free. So each one of those has a cost associated with them. When somebody gets up to big numbers, 1,200, 1,400, 1,600, it's because they're processing a lot of credit cards. And those credit cards, if I can save 0.5% and I process $200,000 a year or something, those numbers can really start adding up.
Okay, so let me summarize, because by the way, you just did a really horrible job at condensing it into plain English like I asked you to do. And
I appreciate that.
I'm giving you a good-natured ribbing. But because here's what I want to know. Why is it that this is cheaper? And I'm going to try to attempt to do what I asked you to do, but you failed so miserably at. Okay, ready? It is because they don't charge a lot of fees that other credit card processors do. True enough?
Yep.
And the rates are lower.
Okay.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Are they actually lower, or are they just saying they're lower, but they're really not lower?
Actually, in this case, here's what. In most of our competitors, even if they show a lower rate, like let's say there's 5 different kind of credit cards that a person will process. There'll be, a regular bank, a regular credit card, a non-qualified card, a mileage card, etc. They'll quote a low rate to show it, of which you take 3 cards a month, And then they'll rip you off for 2% on your bank cards. At Elevon, because of Costco puts a gun to their head and say, strip all this crap out, quote a rate, and make it really low, or you won't have our business. And so these deals are really, I mean, I'm not saying that there's possible that somebody out there is lower, but it's way on the bottom.
Okay, now, pause. Everything that you just told me was fantastic information. Where is it on your ad? And the answer is, it has to be dissected, digested, calculated, figured, and thought through to draw that conclusion, right?
Okay.
That's not good. Here's what I'm in favor of: telling people what the deal is. So let's say it in a way that Costco probably wouldn't let us say it, but let's just start there, okay?
Okay.
Elevon is a credit card processing company that Costco put a gun to their head, said, take all the stupid extra fees and bullcrap rates that aren't really true, get rid of it, give people an actual good deal that's consistent with what Costco would actually give people for a really good deal, like you're used to getting on everything else that you come to Costco for, and that's what this is. True enough?
Yep.
Okay, so now we just got to find a cool way to say that Costco wouldn't go, whoa, hang on a second. Because they probably don't want.
You think the cost of the gun to the head is going to cause some problems right now?
They may object to that particular phraseology.
Yeah, how about that?
But it's the true story, and this is where I was going earlier when I said, well, what is it that, what do you want people to know? And what I'm wanting to say as I write this ad is, here's why. Anybody can put an ad out that says we got better rates and we got less fees, and that would be a good place to start. We got rid of all the stupid fees, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G fees, and we've got better rates that are actual rates, not bullcrap rates, rates A, B, C, and D, and that's a pretty good place to start. And if this ad was running anywhere else besides the Costco magazine, that's probably where we'd start. We'd probably end there. But since it's running in the Costco magazine, we throw on top of that, because we're a Costco partner and because Costco insists, it's a nicer way to say puts a gun to our head, insists that everything be completely transparent, that there's no hidden fees, no bogus charges, no gotchas, that everything is completely what it appears to be. And because it's freaking Costco, this is unequivocally, without a doubt, transparently, the best value on credit card processing imaginable, which is probably true. And then people read that and they go, oh, huh. And they pause and they go, huh, yeah.
Will they read all that?
Well, all of that was a lot shorter than this big table you got.
A, I don't think so, and B, this one, so I can go through here. This list, so instead of a platitude, this actually shows these are all the things that you get that are free or low cost.
Yeah, but here's what I'm trying to tell you. This is only half the story.
Yep. I appreciate that. So I'm hearing you.
By the way, I said the same thing that's on this chart without putting it into a chart form, because I think what's going to be difficult for people is to look at this chart and to say, okay, let me take the challenge. Annual fees. Okay, I am a merchant. My business is. We take a lot of credit cards. And if you start to ask me, do we have annual fees, batch fees, annual PCI compliance fees, reporting fees, additional authorization fees, monthly fees, application fees, statement fees, I start to give you this answer back. What do you think the answer is?
I don't know.
I don't really know. I bet there's some fees, but I don't know what they are. Now, you'll have a wide variety, and some people would be acutely aware of those fees. And guess who those people probably are?
Shoppers.
Wrong. They're the people that probably don't have fees because they're acutely aware of the fees, so they probably already took measures to get rid of the fees. Then there's the 80% that go, I don't know. Isn't that just the way it works? I don't really know. Let's find document here.
What would this look like visually?
I don't know. I only know one thing at a time, and that's not the one thing I know right now. Let's work on it, though. Okay. Okay. What do you want to put on here?
Well, I suppose we need a headline.
You're going to make me do all the work, aren't you?
Yeah, well, you're the genius. I'm just a good-looking guy on the other side of the phone.
That may or may not be true. Okay. Let's see. Merchant credit card processing, leaving profits on the table. Take the credit card processing challenge and make sure your great deal is really great. I'm just reading that off of my other screen as I prepare to write something genius-esque. Let's see what it might be. Switch to Costco's Elavon credit card processing. Now, I don't know if you can legally say Costco's Elavon or whatever. Let's just leave it for a minute.
Yeah, well, they'll figure it. The lawyers will fix that.
Okay, let's switch to Costco's Elavon credit card processing system and eliminate, I can't spell, eliminate $8 to $10 fees you are currently paying and lower your rates by 18 to 42%. Net result, save 800 to $7,400 a year in fees and rates. That's the wrong word, rates, but I'm gonna leave it for just a second. Costco, only Costco. Trust Costco for merchant processing. We insist on 100% fee and rate transparency. No fake. I'm going to put this on the next line. No fake introductory rates. No hidden charges. 100% what you see is what you get. Okay, so this is kind of giving us a little start here. I'm going to pull my place.
Well, one thing while you're doing that, we thought about, should we create some kind of special report that gets even someone that's not buying today to ask for the report so we can put them into a drip sequence? Any thoughts on that?
Maybe. Okay. Switch to Costco's Elavon credit card processing system and eliminate 8 to 10 fees. I'm not sure I like the 8 to 10 fees. Fees you're currently paying and lower your rates by 18 to 42%. Net result, save $800 to $7,400 a year in fees and rates. Trust Costco for merchant processing. We insist on 100% fee and rate transparency. No fake introductory rates, no hidden charges, 100% what you see is what you get. Now, there's stuff in here that's not exactly accurate or right or perfect according to what needs to be in there, but the concept and the spirit of it is right. Then we get into this next, look what I've done. I've even thrown another headline in here, and I've got all these headlines before they ever get to the text, because I want them to see in sort of rapid fire succession what the argument is. So if I ask somebody to read this ad and say, do you understand what you're going to get? Switch to Costco's Elavon credit card processing, eliminate fees you're currently paying, lower your rates, net results you're going to save. Costco merchant processing, 100% transparency, no fake, no hidden, 100% what you see is what you get. Oh yeah, I get it. You know, Costco means low prices, same is true for merchant services. Then we come in here to the text and we'd say something like, you know the game, you see an ad, lower rates, lower fees, but turns out that if they lower one fee, they just raise it somewhere else. If they have a good rate on one type of card, as you're probably aware, they hit you hard with other higher rates on cards that are more common. It's almost impossible to know what you're getting and if you're even getting a good deal. That's why Costco has partnered with Elavon, one of the nation's largest credit card processing, and put rules and stipulations in place that everything must be 100% transparent. The days of trying to figure out what you've got and what the rates are gone. With our program, there's no annual fees, no batch fees, no annual compliance, maybe just a little bullet list there. Here's the fees that are eliminated: batch fees, annual fees, blah, 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 blah fees. Our rates are also completely transparent, written in stone, and there's no guessing. For instance, low retail qualified, 1.38, 19 cents per transaction, mileage cards, 1.99, blah, blah, blah. With your processor, you may think you're getting a good rate, but turns out, you know, you're actually not. Or in many cases, you just don't know. The fees and higher rates on unsuspecting transactions are the bread and butter of most of the processing companies. But you know how Costco works. They stack them deep and sell them cheap. That's what they do. That's the exact same thing here. They're not going to make as much money per transaction, and that's just fine. Think of this as the warehouse full of transactions selling at high volume, and you can participate. The same thing that allows you to buy eggs and milk and diapers for less money is going to allow you to get this for cheaper. And you just put it in a term that people go, oh, I get it, Costco for my merchant, because that's what it is.
What's my call to action?
Call us.
Okay.
You can put a report. You can put a website. It doesn't matter.
If I do a report, does that make it, you know, do you think it takes away from the direct response to 1-800?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know that it's 100% necessary, because here's why. We've told such a complete story that as long as they believe the story and they believe that it's credible, okay, which is questionable. I don't know if they'll believe it's, who knows. But if they do, then they're going to leave the story in the ad feeling like, wow, that's a better deal. And it really is just a matter of, you know, now you look and say, well, what's their biggest objection? The biggest objection to switching is it's a monumental pain in the butt. So I would say, you know, the next step is to do something that's going to take very little time. Call us for a 6-minute analysis of your current setup, and we'll let you know if we can save you money or not. And then they go, oh, okay, that's quick. Now, I don't know if you can do it in 6 minutes. I don't know how that works. But I want to tell people, hey, it's going to take not much time, because their biggest concern is going to be it's going to take a lot of time. There's going to be a lot of detail work that I don't really understand. And if I do decide to make this switch, then I get into this whole, you know, how big of a pain in the butt is that going to be? Have you ever switched banks? Just regular checking accounts?
Yep.
It's a huge pain in the butt. Now, switching over to new processing. We are in the process of switching to a different processor right now. We've been working on it for about 45 days because there's just a lot of little things, which is okay because it's ultimately going to be a better system for us. But these are things that go through people's mind. Okay, great, but do I really care for $800 a year? Maybe I don't.
So a lot like Geico.
So what I would say is next step, call for a free 6-minute analysis. We'll talk to you, let you know if we can save you money. Chances are high we can. If you decide to switch, we handle all the details. The switchover process is easy, painless, and takes a lot less time and hassle than you think. You know, something like that. Get them a call. Get them into the sales pitch.
That's great.
That's what I would do.
Is this all copy? Is there icon? Is there a person's face? What's going on the?
Well, I like your second ad. Anytime you can just simply give them a visual, and go, oh, you're talking about credit cards. Got it. So I, might throw that on there, and I don't know.
Oh, you mean the terminal?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Can we go over to that other little piece that I sent over?
We can.
Okay. So what Costco does is they send out emails to people with regularity to members, and these have little tombstones. They have little pieces of all their different offers, and you get X amount of characters that you can put. So what I sent you over was you might want to hit the right click so that it shows the picture down there.
All right.
Okay, right. Yeah, so keep going down, and I'll tell you where. So keep going down a little bit further, and it'll be on your left-hand side right there. Go back. One more up. One more up.
Hold on.
Okay, so you see right there the take credit for less?
Uh-huh.
That's their little piece of real estate that goes to, X 100,000 or million people when they do this. So they said, hey, a couple of things. We have the ability to change whatever that words say in that little piece of real estate, that little half-inch by half-inch or whatever is there. And then we have the ability to do whatever we want on the other side. When you click that, it goes to a website page, and we have a chance to change that as well. So what I was thinking is the rates, because of the trickiness of the industry, I thought the rates are maybe they're helpful, maybe they're not helpful, but they have so many free things. I thought maybe we should just list all the free things because free always seems to be good. So my working idea on the previous page was let's use something that says we have all this free stuff, and then redo this page and make this into a better selling page for us.
Okay, if I was redoing this page, here's what I would do.
Uh-huh. By the way, this guy over here, Joe, he's another in the Velvet campaign.
Here's what I would put on this page. You getting the idea?
Oh, you're saying take the ad and put that on the page?
Well, why would it be different? See, what we're trying to do in this ad is we're trying to construct the sales argument in its most basic elemental form. And if I'm taking somebody who knows nothing, and I'm going to assume that everybody knows nothing, even though some people may know something, I'm going to assume that everybody knows nothing, then we've got to give them the elemental sales pitch. So they go, oh, got it.
Okay, I buy that.
I don't mind Joe over here. That's fine because he kind of lends some credibility. No application, no batch, no PCI. Okay, great. But if I go back to the email, this is the bigger challenge. How do we get people here? Because that page that we just talked about, however we end up designing that ad, we basically take that ad and stick it over there on that web page.
Yep.
But then here we got this little teeny ad, merchant credit card processing. So this is something that we've got to consider the space available. So let's do this.
And here's kind of the rule is, based on their conventions, the picture thing, you can never put type on the picture. So you can change the picture if you want, but there'll always be a picture without type on it. The place that's kind of up for grabs is what's underneath the picture.
Yeah, I'm assuming the exception on the picture is the name of the company, Elevon, right?
Yeah.
Can you put the Costco logo on there as well?
No, because it's all Costco. This is from Costco, and everything about it is Costco.
No. Can you put the Costco logo on the little square picture along with the Elevon logo?
I could ask.
Because that's going to help make our point. I mean, anything that we can do to more closely align ourselves with Costco so that the sales argument of, hey, we've Costco-sized, I don't mean size like big, Costco-ized, we've Costco-fied our merchant services. See, that's something that's easy for people to understand because everybody understands the concept of Costco. So that's what I keep trying to attach myself to here.
Okay.
If you took somebody out of a cave and said, do you know what Costco is? And they said, no, I've never heard of that. You know what Sam's Club is? No, I've never heard of that. It would take you probably, 30 to 60 seconds to explain what Costco was. And they would go, oh, okay, I got it. But everybody already knows what Costco is because nobody lives in a cave. So if we can attach, hey, we do the Costco thing to merchant processing, they would go, oh, okay, got it. So down here below, merchant credit card processing, new rate 1.38% plus 19 cents per transaction for retail classified merchants plus no PCI fees. See, the new rate might be okay, but when we get into per transaction for retail classified merchants, you probably just lost half the people that go, okay, whatever that means. Plus
right,
no
that's
PCI
the lawyers
fees.
talking, because it does depend. They can't just say that because you have to be a certain classified to get that.
Plus no PCI fees, where a lot of people are going, okay, so maybe if we took a different tactic and just came in here and said,
well, go look at Joe once. You know that Joe ad, the bottom of the Joe ad?
Yeah.
So if you go to the previous page and you saw, on the left there's Joe and there's like 6 free things.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, what if you lifted those things from that page and dumped them in here?
Well, here's what I'm cautious of. I'm cautious of appearing to be like any other ad for merchant processing because they all lead with rates, just like banks and mortgage companies, right? We've
true.
got the lowest rates. We've got the lowest rates. And after a while, you get completely desensitized to it and you go, who cares? I don't even believe you because aren't they all basically the same?
That happens for sure.
So what I'm more interested in doing is saying, hey, you know what Costco is? Yeah, of course you do because you're reading our stupid newsletter. Well, we've Costco-fied this process so that they go, oh, I didn't realize that was available. That's what I want people to say in their minds. I want them to say, oh, I didn't realize that was available. I didn't know that they had done that. Instead of, oh, wow, 1.38%, that's 0.04 less than I'm paying right now. That's not really where I want to go with this quite so much.
So you're saying the hook is, don't talk about the money at all. Use the power of Costco and say,
well,
whatever Costco sells, you're going to get it for less. Now you can get this for less.
Yeah, and I'm not saying completely de-rate get rid of all the rates. Problem with the rates is a lot of people are going to look at those and they may not have a whole lot of frame of reference.
Yep,
1.38%. Right. Okay, I think that's good, but is that what I'm paying? I don't know. Maybe that's better. Even if it is better, how much better based on my volume? How much money does that mean? Those are all calculations that are very fuzzy at best.
Well, here's a dumb question. With that little bit of real estate, should I use this to generate some kind of free report? about, you know, what you didn't know about your thing. So now if there was a good title of that report, now they come over the page, you got some space, they can click into to get it in a squeeze page or something, and now I can remarket to them, and then I got the page to help sell everything that you have in that Word document.
Yeah, again, what I would rather do than get them down this path of the free report and the multi-step, I'd rather get them to go, oh, so what you're saying is I can accomplish Costco type pricing on my merchant services. Huh. Oh, it's easy and quick to switch. Interesting. Yeah. I'd be interested in talking to somebody about that. That's what that's what I really want to do. I'm trying to make this much simpler than you're trying to make it.
I think you're on. I think you're right, by the way. And I'm actually shocked at how facile you are. So
well, it's very easy to overcomplicate things. If you listen to this call with any regularity, you'll know that this is almost always an exercise in simplifying. I mean, listen to the previous caller. It was just grossly overcomplicated. This is, I would not say this is grossly overcomplicated. I would say that this is leaning towards more interaction and more complication than is necessary to get the job done.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to say in your mind, you're trying to say, oh, well, if I can just convince somebody that we've got better rates, then they're going to want to switch. And I'm telling you, no, probably not. Because you're not the first guy that ever came out and said we've got lower rates. In fact, go read any ad anywhere on anything for rates, and that's exactly what you'll always see.
But what they won't have is Costco.
Yeah, nobody gets to wag the Costco thing around like you can.
By the way, this, at the end of the day, Elavon controls their selling process, but Costco controls the marketing. So whenever you're building the value of Costco, the ad reinforces the value proposition of Costco. So that's like singing the language of Costco too. They'll love that.
Yeah, that's their whole deal. And that's what you're not doing, which, I mean, people want to understand a rationale for stuff. They don't want to know that it's cheaper. They want to know that it's cheaper and why it's cheaper. They don't want to know that it's better. They want to know that it's better and why it's better. They don't want to know that it's on sale. They want to know why it's on sale. And if you give them any modicum of a reason, then it'll scratch that itch of why, and they'll go, oh, okay. What if I came to you and said, I'll sell you this brand new 2012 Toyota Camry that's normally $25,000. I'll sell it to you for $10,000. Are you excited about that deal?
Nope.
You immediately want to know, well, why is it so cheap?
Yeah, what's the catch?
And if I say to you, our rates are lower than everybody else's rate, your immediate reaction to that is, yeah, but so is everybody else's.
Yep.
And I've got somebody that I use, and they're fine. I mean, if you catch somebody at an inflection point in their relationship with their processor where they're feeling negative, then they'll call. Those are the nowest of the now buyers. But guess what they're probably going to do? If you say, well, we've got the lowest rate, they're probably going to say, well, let me go shop for the lowest rate because that's what you just told me I should do. But when you say we've got Costco rates, well, everybody knows that those are the lowest rates. There's no need to keep shopping.
And by the way, it's not like it's always the lowest, but you never paid.
Doesn't matter.
The point is, you always know you're in the ballpark, right?
Yeah.
So it prevents the stall.
Well, and here's the other thing that Costco does. You know that if you go buy a bag of avocados at Costco, you know that it's probably going to cost you more than if you went to the grocery store because they're going to make you buy a freaking bag of 22 of them, right? And that's good for this argument because they know that their volume of transactions is relatively fixed within whatever level of business they're doing. But there's going to be an implication here that, hey, we're grouping you in with everybody else. So you're taking advantage of this huge network of Costco Costco, answer this question. How does Costco sell for less? Give me a one sentence or one word answer to that question. How does Costco sell for less?
Volume with no frills.
Volume, no frills. Volume. You know it's volume. I mean, every comedian that's ever had any kind of career has made Costco jokes about wheeling the beef jerky on a dolly out to the car, right? Because it's funny. And you buy 2 caskets at Costco because they come in a 2-pack and it's a casket, not a casket, right? These are all jokes that comedians make. Everybody understands this, so just tap into it. Switch to Costco's Elavon credit card processing system and eliminate, how about this? All the fees you're currently paying. That may be too strong. I don't know, run it by compliance.
Yeah, the lawyers will beat the crap out of that, but it will come up with something. Those rates are going to be significantly not as high, so it's going to be less of an exciting story.
No. Whoa, back up. Don't go so gloss over that so fast. Lower your rates by 18 to 42%. I'm talking as a percentage. So if your rate is 1.5, or if your current rate is 2.5 and my rate is 1.5, then that's what, 40% less, right?
Yeah, I'll see what the lawyers will let us say. They got they're a big company and they're pretty conservative because they never want to be accused of overpromising. But the point is well taken, and I think it's a good one. I think you are as smart as I think you are.
Well, I don't know about that, but sounds good on a call. So now go take and do something with it. But here's one thing you should be doing every day when you sit down to write this marketing. You should look over here and say, okay, I'm going to make a list of all the benefits of this product, of this Elavon. And at the very, very top, every time you sit down and think about it, make that list, you need to write this word, Costco. Costco, man. And you should start every conversation with, hey, we're the Costco merchant processor, and everything that you think goes along with that does go along with that. Because you know what happens here? Look at this here. Let's take a look at this page that you sent me. Okay, Costco travel guides to savings. Over here, next, hearing aids, ReSound, groundbreaking premium wireless hearing aid, blinds and shades. So what's the implication here? The implication is that Costco travel is something that is specifically Costco oriented. However, the hearing aid and the blinds and shade appear to be third-party merchant partners. That's not as good. That's good. That's way better than not being a third-party merchant partner, but it's not nearly as good as being the Costco branded hearing aid, right?
So what you're saying is where it says take credit for less, what they've been doing in the past, we'd be way better off if we could put Costco where the Elavon is and put Costco processing on the top of that.
Well, that's the first thing I asked you. I know they're going to want Elavon on there, but will they also let you, in addition to that, put the Costco logo on there so that people look at it and go, oh, this
I can ask. I mean, there's some hair on that right now, but they hired me for a reason, so they might be open to changing some stuff around as a test. So
yeah, the other thing I would do is where it says take credit for less, I think the word card after credit is really critical. Take credit cards for less. And you say, well, no, that's a minor difference, but I don't think it's a minor difference. Merchant credit card processing, new rate, transaction. Okay, we talked through that. See what you come up with. If I was you, I would sit down and write 10 different versions of different things that we've talked about and then decide on which one.
Great. When do these post? This call, when does it post on the
probably later today or tomorrow at the latest.
Awesome. You know what? I was this is the first time I've called in a couple of years. And I was even saying, hey, when am I ever going to use this? I should just cancel it. I realized how much it's cost me not to do this for the last 2 years.
Well, hey, I'd look forward to having you on here anytime you want. The truth is we have a relatively small number of people that submit ads, so we tend to see the same people over and over. We do have quite a few people that get on the calls and watch and listen and stuff like that, but it's easier than you think to actually get your ad submitted and featured on here.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So again, I want to thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay, thanks, Tom. We'll talk to you next time, and that's it. We'll go ahead and wrap up for the day, and we'll talk to you guys on Thursday. We're going to talk about joint ventures on our strategic marketing call. Thanks, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye now.